Live from Iowa City, BTN presents Big Ten Gymnastics. It's the Iowa Hawkeyes today at home, hosting a Nebraska team fresh off an upset over number 3 Michigan. And these are two of the 3 teams in the Big Ten that are undefeated: Nebraska, Iowa, and Minnesota. They've all started conference action 3-0. And for this big matchup today, we brought our best gymnast to cover with us. Trea Musser, back in her day at Penn State. She was a Big Ten Gymnast of the Year, an All-American, also an all-around champion competing for the Nittany Lions. And she joins us here from Iowa City. And we're glad you're with us as well on the Big Ten Network. Bernie Gunther with you. Trea, take a look at this matchup for the Hawkeyes. What a test for them, having Nebraska come in. They have to have all sorts of momentum today.
Nebraska has so much momentum going in today, coming off of a huge win last week against Michigan. Coach Kandick said that they were a little flat earlier this week in practice, but looking to build that momentum into today. Iowa's goal today is to focus only on themselves, to beat their high score. They want to put on a great show for their fans today.
Some of the top gymnasts in the Big Ten are here, including Holly Blansky from Nebraska. She might be one of the ones to watch at the Big Ten Championships that could be an all-around champion. She's
a very consistent competitor, normally on all 4 events, except for today. No other reason to do 3 events than just to give her some rest. But you got Grace Williams picking up that all-around spot, very confident, aggressive athlete who leaves everything out on that floor.
For the Iowa Hawkeyes, you take a look at Molly Drenth. Last year, she was a specialist for the Hawkeyes, competing in both bars and beam. She's advanced her routine. She's in the all-around, and man, has she been big this year for Iowa.
Yeah, Molly has won the last 4 all-around titles, and she is looking to pick up her 5th today.
Should be spectacular if Molly Drenth has a big performance today. The Hawkeyes might have a chance to upset Nebraska. Should be a good one from Iowa City. It's the Huskers and the Hawkeyes, rotation number 1, when we come back on the Big Ten Network. Back inside Carver Hawkeye Arena, Nebraska and Iowa meeting for the 28th time. The Huskers, they've really owned this series. They've won 25 of the 27, including the last 17. Check out the Road to National rankings. The Gators losing for the first time this season last night against Georgia. They're currently the #1 team in the country, but for the Big Ten, Michigan is 3rd, Nebraska 14th, Minnesota 18th, and Illinois 19th, with still plenty of time in the season and some of the best performances still to come for the Big Ten teams. Marissa Libby is a host today in her 12th season at Iowa. She's made the postseason 7 out of the last 8 years, and this is a program for the Hawkeyes that has really been on the rise. You check out their start order that's on the ticker right below her. For Nebraska, Dan Kendig, 23 years at Nebraska, 2-time National Coach of the Year. He was the Big Ten Coach of the Year in 2012. He's won 2 Big Ten Conference championships. Last year, Nebraska finished 3rd at Big Tens, 2nd at the Ames Regional, and they finished just 2 away from making the Super 6. They finished 8th overall, but this is a Nebraska team that certainly could be in the Super 6 at the end of the day.
Yeah, Nebraska's looking very strong. Could definitely see them at the national championships this season.
Nebraska coming off their highest point total of the year. They scored 196.775, defeating Michigan. It's an Iowa team that it could be surprising today, because you take a look at some of their best totals. If Nebraska doesn't score that 196.775 they did, it's an Iowa team that could have a chance to come away with their first win in 17 tries today.
Iowa just has to focus on what they do in practice. Coach Libby was saying how they're only focused on themselves today. They just want to go out there and be clean and hit all their routines.
Iowa will have the Olympic order: vault, bars, beam, and they'll finish on floor at home. They made a late change to their lineup right before this meet started, and so it'll be Angel Metcalf, the junior from Swansboro, North Carolina, that will begin on vault. One of the top gymnasts for Iowa. She finished 5th in the all-around last year at the NCAA regionals. She's coming off posting her highest vault score of the season last week against Maryland.
Yurchenko full. Something the judges are looking for on this event is lots of distance and lots of height off the table. Let's take a look here. Little bit of leg separation on the table, which is the judges can take. But you see there, she wants to spot that landing and go for that stick.
Danielle Breen first up for Nebraska, the sophomore from Ames, Iowa.
Little close on that release move.
Last year as a freshman, she was really a bars and beam specialist, but this year she's been a candidate to make an appearance in all 4 rotations, though she hasn't appeared on floor yet.
Beautiful dismount. A little bit of a hop back there, but a great first bar routine for Nebraska. It's always good to start out with a consistent hitter in that first spot. Take a look at that dismount. Nice form in the air. Lots of height. You just want to get that stuck landing.
Here's Molly Drunt now, who's moved from competing in 2 events to competing in the all-around. How does she make that adjustment? How did she do it so well now in her junior season?
You know, you just have to build off of your experience from last year, take things you didn't like and take things you did like and work on them. That was an awesome vault. Lots of power. Yurchenko half, so it's a blind landing. Let's take a look here. Good extension on the table. Lots of power. Beautiful vault.
Angel Metcalf, a 9.750, the first score for Iowa. Ashley Lambert, the junior, who finished 3rd in the all-around earlier this season at Penn State, is up next. For Ashley Lambert, she's not slated to go on the vault today. We're missing out on an opportunity to see someone that hit perfect 10 in back-to-back weeks. But again, middle of the season, Nebraska's really flipped up their lineup a little bit today.
Yeah, it's important to rest some girls on certain events. When you're competing every weekend, it can take a toll on your body, and it's important to get some rest. Lining up for the dismount. Got a full out to a stuck landing.
Good start for Nebraska. Danielle Breen, a career high 9.850, and a great performance there by the junior Ashley Lambert.
Take a look at that release move. Little bit of leg separation there, and the knees could have been slightly tighter, but beautiful height on that release move.
Allie Glover now. Senior from Destin, Florida. Named to the all-championship team last year.
Yurchenko full. A little bit of a hop back. You want to settle into that landing. You got to be ready for it. Good on the horse. Wanted to bend those knees slightly more into the landing. But good vault.
Back to the bars in Kaylin Orrell. Just a freshman, but this is one of the big insurgents this year for Nebraska. They got a number of underclassmen that have done some really big things, and they really like what Kaylin Orrell brings to the table for Nebraska.
Again, the judges are looking for huge height on their release moves and getting those handstands. Beautiful lines.
Ashley Lambert, a 9.850. Her teammate Danielle Breen, 9.725.
Double layup dismount. Not quite the stick they were hoping for. That was a great bar routine, very clean. Take a look at that dismount. A little bit of form in the air. And slight hop back.
Rose Brokowski, the freshman from Panama City now. This has been the only event she's competed on. She's been a vault event specialist for the Hawkeyes.
Beautiful vault. She leaned it a little bit to the side on the mat. So twisting a little early off the table, which the judges can take for. You want to land right in the center of that mat. Take a look here. So just a little bit off, not by much though.
And now our first look at Holly Blansky, the senior, not competing in the all-around today. We'll get to see her on 3 events. There's a big reason why the Huskers are able to defeat 3rd-ranked Michigan last week, and she won the all-around title.
You'll see here in her bars just how clean of a gymnast she is. Had a nice release going into her overshoot. Little hesitation getting up to the high bar there. Don't know if the judges will take on that. Beautiful double layout, and she's fighting for that stick.
Yeah, it looked like a stuck landing on my side. Beautiful performance there by Holly Blansky.
There's that dismount. Want to think about tight toes, even when you're in the air. It's hard to think about it, but you still gotta feel them.
2 remain for Iowa. This is Maria Ortiz, a freshman from Fort Myers, Florida. Graduated high school with a 5.16 GPA. It's a brilliant student.
That's impressive. A little bit of a hop and then a step. So judges could take a couple deductions on that landing. Let's take a look here, her height off the table. A lot of height, which was good. A little bit of her head through back. You want to keep that head in as you're twisting. But very nice vault.
It's Grace Williams. 2 remain for Nebraska, 6 up, 5 count. You're able to drop your low score, and now for both these teams have had hit routines, and they could go for some big numbers here in slot 5 and 6.
Beautiful release move. That was massive. Coach Kendig was saying she's such a confident performer, and you can see that in this routine. She doesn't hold anything back.
Coming off a season-high 9-9 last week against Michigan. Did she get another big number there?
She definitely could put up a high score there. Had a slight step on that dismount, which could hinder that 9-9, but definitely going to be a high score. Let's take a look there. One slight step back with that right foot, but very, very minimal.
9.875, the highest score so far for Nebraska. Blansky's score 9.7. And last to go, Nikki Yao, a sophomore from Panama City, Florida. This is the first time this season that she's competed on vault, but the good news is it's been all hit routines the first 5. That should take some pressure off of her.
Absolutely. It always helps when your team does their job in front of you, because then it makes your job easier.
Oh, wow.
That was a very nice vault.
What a vault for her first career vault as a Hawkeye.
Take a look here. So, she hit the yellow, which was a little, the judges could take on that, and then that caused her to not get on top of the table, so her height off the table was a little low, and that all started from that round off onto the board as she hit the yellow mat. That took away a lot of her power.
Last to go, the Big Ten champion on uneven bars, Jenny Lang. Last year, 9.95 when she won the championship. She's already been named a Big Ten event specialist. Coming off a 9.925, she could put up a huge number, and Nebraska could use it. Their highest number so far, 9.875.
Yeah, they could definitely use a 9.9 right here. So far, it's looking great. She's got beautiful form, lots of height. That was a great dismount. Little step back with that foot. But that was one of the only deductions I saw in that routine. Let's take a look here. Winding up for the dismount, huge. And just wants to spot that landing and get ready for the mat.
2 rotations in. After this one, Iowa, they're going to finish with a 49.025 on vault, a huge score for them as they used a number of 9.8s. We're waiting on the score for Jenny Lang, but the Hawkeyes might have the early lead after the first rotation, possibly.
That is a great start for the Hawkeyes on vault. 49.02 is a very good score. 0.25 is a very good score to start out with.
Jenny Lang, a 9.850. So wait a second while they finalize the math for Nebraska. They're going to finish with a 49.0. So Iowa will have a fractional lead early on as they have the highest vault score so far this season, besting their performance a week ago at Maryland.
Yeah, every little thing counts in this sport. All those landings, you know, you don't want to give away any tenths.
And that's just an exhibition routine for Cammie. Shows an opportunity for her to show, though, why she should be in the lineup.
Exactly. Exhibitions are a way for the gymnasts to show their coaches that they can handle the pressure, and it's also just great experience for the gymnasts because you can't get that type of pressure atmosphere in the gym. So when you're in front of a huge crowd and you're in front of judges, you have those exciting nerves, and exhibition is just a really good way to get that experience.
2 of the 3 unbeatens in the Big Ten battling today in Iowa City, and the early nod to the Hawkeyes after rotation number 1. BTN Plus is available on BTN To Go. Subscribe to BTN Plus and gain access to hundreds of non-televised events. Then enjoy them on more platforms. Wherever you are, get BTN Plus now available on BTN To Go. Back in Iowa City, it's the Hawkeyes with a slight lead after rotation number 1. And Larissa Libby, their head coach, joining us on the air. Coach told us at the onset it was all about taking care of the details. I'm sure you had to be pleased. Your highest vault total so far of the season after rotation number 1.
Yeah, I'm very pleased. We try not to watch the score, so I would be honest, I'm not that aware of where we are during the meet. We're trying to go off of the performances. Scores are different around the country, so it's really hard to judge based on the number. So we've just asked our athletes to control the things they can control as far as performance, and if that puts them in season highs, then we're doing our job.
Was that the level of performance you were expecting from your girls today compared to what they were doing in training all week?
You know, yes and no. Vaults were a little bit tighter, a little bit higher, but because of that, landings were a little bit off. In the gym, we've been more to sticking the landings, and usually 3 of the 5 are stuck. So I think we lost out on some valuable tenths. When you're up against a team like Nebraska, you got to take advantage of all of those tenths that you can get back. And so, you know, I feel like, yes, I'm pleased with the level of the vault, but we gave away 5 tenths that we don't need to give away. So that's something we just got to focus on. And as the time goes by, we'll get those details.
Thank you, Coach.
Thank you.
Iowa with a slight lead using their highest vault total of the season, and you see very consistent. They dropped Angel Metcalf's 9.750, but a bunch of 9.8s and higher.
Yeah, it's great to be counting those 9.8s with vault. You know, it's hard to get that 10.0 with the Yurchenko full because they had devalued that Yurchenko full. So 9.8s are very good for vault.
Holly Blansky's score dropped at the bottom. Lang Lambert, a 9.850, as well as Grace Williams. Nebraska was consistent, and now they're going to have an opportunity here on vault and rotation number 2 to take an advantage. And, you know, for Dan Kendig, this is a team, obviously, with the high of last week and the upset win over Michigan. It's really important for them to manage the expectations and manage the team go into this week.
Yeah, you want to maintain that same momentum that they had from last week, but sometimes, you know, you're on such a high that you kind of dip coming down off of such a big high, but it's important to get in practice and act like, you know, every week is going to be your best week yet.
Kaylin Orr, the freshman from Blue Springs, Missouri, coming off a collegiate best last week. First to go for Nebraska. She's competing in the all-around today.
Lead-off vault's very important, sets the pace for the rest. A little bit of a step back there. But her team should be very happy with that first vault. take a look at her form. A little bit on the side of the horse. The roundoff was a little crooked, which caused her to get on the side of the table. But good height off the vault.
First up for Iowa, Lainey Snyder, sophomore from Omaha, Nebraska. She didn't compete as a freshman, but she's posted season and career best performances on bars her last 2 times out.
Beautiful release move into her overshoot. Looking for those handstands. Looked like she got that one. Nice dismount. Little hop back. She landed a little bit low. I would have liked to see her chest up a little bit more on that landing. Let's take a look here. A little bit of toe form. Again, it's important to be thinking about those toes in the air.
Back to vault. Sienna Krause, the freshman from Fargo, North Dakota. It's one of the athletes that Dan Kendig really singled out, saying that she is really starting to gain momentum this season. She could compete in all of the events, but so far just vault and floor.
Very nice Yurchenko full. She had a lot of height off the table, more so than what we've seen on some of them. Now, as soon as you hit that board, you want to get those arms back to the table as fast as you can. Get a nice arch on the table so that you can get a lot of height.
Lainey Snyder, 9.825. This is Lexi Murrah, junior from Caseyville, Illinois. She's been a bar specialist her entire career at Iowa. Posted a 9.850.
Good fight on that handstand. There's very clean lines on bars. Beautiful dismount right into that stuck landing.
What a start for Iowa at home.
Wow. That was a great start. You know, she just set the pace for the rest of her team, and that's just an awesome routine to start off on. She's going to pump up her team, and hopefully they can build off of that stick. Beautiful form. It's hard to think about those toes when you're on bars, because you're so focused on, you know, keeping those arms tight that it's important to think of those legs.
Back to vault. Here's Grace Williams.
Beautiful. Would have liked to see maybe a little bit more height off the table. Looked like her elbows bent just slightly, which is taking away from that power. Right there, a little bit of elbows bending, but she pulled it out very nicely.
9.775, 9.775. The first 2 scores for Nebraska. We'll wait for the score for Grace Williams. 2.9825 so far for Iowa for Snyder and Murrah. And now this is Melissa Zorowski, the sophomore. She's hit every one of her bar routines, but the first one of the year so far for Iowa.
Very nice handstands. Coming up for that dismount. Trying to find that landing, and she does. Very nice.
Looks like another big score for Iowa after they get another stuck landing.
Take a look here at that dismount. So she finds that landing, she sticks it. It's important to make sure that those feet aren't too far apart, because the judges can take off for that if they're past your shoulder width. So even though she stuck it, if they're too far, they're still going to take a 10th on the feet position.
The freshman Megan Schweinhofer on vault so far. Nebraska, their highest score, 9.775. They've had 3 of them. The second best vaulting team in the conference And they're still looking for their biggest score. Still 3 gymnasts to go.
Full, and she spots that landing. I could almost tell right off the table, it was so clean and effortless. She just nailed it.
She had a 9-9 2 weeks ago against Rutgers, winning the vault title.
Beautiful height. She flares out there. She opens her arms. The judges love to see that flare out because that means you have so much height. Very nice vault.
Molly Drenth, who told you about her at the onset, this was her best event last year as a sophomore. She finished 9th on bars at the Big Ten Championship.
Going into her release move. Very nice. They want to see those release moves up over that high bar. Beautiful handstand. And another stuck landing. She kind of stepped out of that. You know, the judges, it was stuck, but the judges do like to see nice controlled landings. But she covered that up very good. Take a look here. She finds that landing and she kind of moves out of it as she's, but hey, it was a great fight. Good dismount.
What a start for Iowa. They have 2 gymnasts remaining on bars, but they are 4 for 4 so far. Jenny Lang and Holly Blansky still to go for Nebraska on vault, and their highest score comes in the 4th spot is Megan Schrohofer, 9.850.
Beautiful. Again, another stuck landing. She threw that head back. Very happy about that vault. Take a look here. She's got wonderful form in the air. Good arc onto the table. Very tight in the air. She spots that landing. She knows she has it.
Jenny Lang happy with her performance for Nebraska, coming off a season high a week ago. Angel Metcalf next to go. Jenny Lang a score of 9.875.
It's a very good score for vault.
Angel Metcalf coming off her best bars performance of the season last week against Maryland. Can she do it again and continue this momentum for Iowa? Molly Drenth just matched the season high with a 9.850.
I'm going to be looking to get that 9-9 score. So far, beautiful routine. She's got very clean lines. Beautiful double layup. And the sticks just keep coming. You kind of get in this groove. When the first person, you know, sticks that landing, like I said, it sets the pace for the rest of the team. And it looks like that they are definitely getting it.
The Hawkeyes are in the groove indeed.
They
Another
are.
stick.
It's so fun too, just building off of that momentum. The energy, so exciting.
And Holly Blansky last to go for Nebraska. She was the Big Ten vault co-champion in 2013. She's vaulted a 9.95 3 times in her career, including on this performance.
Beautiful. Yeah, that definitely deserved a 9.95. Let's see here. She can get that same stuck landing. Not quite. A little bit of a hop. She had so much power, but it beautiful distance and height off the table.
So Nebraska finishes up on vault.
Very nice pop off the horse. A little bit of leg bend in the air on that slow-mo, but the judges may not have caught that when it's really fast.
Last to go, Johanny Sotillo, senior from Venezuela, former Venezuela national team member, and she could just really cut loose since Iowa 5 for 5 so far on bars.
Let's see if she can maintain the momentum that they have building here. Beautiful release move. It almost looked like she's smiling in the middle of her bar routine. That's wonderful. I just hope she's staying nice and focused. And wow. Beautiful, beautiful landing. She had a slight, it looked like she landed and she kind of came up slightly. I don't know if her feet moved. Let's take a look here. Got the double front dismount. This landing is harder because it's a blind landing coming around forward. There she bounces up just slightly. Could have settled in a little bit more, but beautiful routine.
The scores for the Hawkeyes, all 9/8s or better.
Those are
wait the score for Johanny. Is it another big number? Allie Glover will go as an exhibition performer for Iowa. Nebraska finished with a 49-1 on vault. Here's Allie Glover. Again, this will not count towards Iowa's team totals, but an opportunity for Glover to show why she should be in the vault, or excuse me, in the bars the rest of the season.
Oops, gotta stay tight in that core. Good fight, pulling that handstand back.
And Johanny, the highest score for the Hawkeyes on bars, a 9.875. And Iowa's going to be just off their season high on bars, finishing with a 49.2.
Very nice bar routine. Getting some good experience in.
Halfway through, the Hawkeyes on the way to their first win over Nebraska in 17 years. They got the lead at the halfway point here in Iowa City. Women's gymnastics on BTN is brought to you in part by State Farm. It pays to double check. Talk to your agent today. The Iowa River is flowing, and so are the Hawkeyes today in Iowa City, looking for their first win in 17 years over Nebraska at halfway home. Iowa 198-225, a 10th ahead of Nebraska as we walk you back to Iowa City. Trey Musser, Bernie Gunther, we are glad you are with us. And Trey, you take a look at this Hawkeye team. They talked about details at the onset, and man, have they taken care of business.
Yeah, absolutely. They were focusing on the details on bars. They were not giving any tenths away on all those stuck landings. And the team score right now is just 1/10, and that all comes down to those landings and those little form breaks.
You take a look at Molly Dren, back-to-back appearances. She has a career high in the all-around, and once again she's added the all-around leader halfway through, and she's been a big reason why the Hawkeyes, who were very consistent on bars, have the lead halfway home.
Great scores on bars, not having to count anything less than their 9/8. You know, staying in that 49 range for the team score on individual events is awesome.
And for the Huskers, maybe a little bit disappointing on vault. They're the second best team in the Big Ten, but Jenny Lang's 9.875, their highest total, but they would have liked to have seen some bigger numbers.
Yeah, you know, vault is harder to get those 9/9 scores because the Yurchenko full was devalued. So now scores are going to always look a little bit lower, but you just got to get out there and do your best with what you have.
And so it turns to beam. Iowa will be on beam, Nebraska on floor. Well, as a reminder, BTN goes where you want, when you want it, with BTN To Go, presented by Auto Owners Insurance. Watch the network on your computer, tablet, or smartphone. To learn more, visit btntogo.com. Great day on a Saturday afternoon to be watching this game on your phone or tablet. Dan Kendig, State Farm State of Success, 23 NCAA championship appearances. Their best finish 4th in 2011. As we mentioned last year, they finished 8th overall in the country, and it's really been a story of sustained success for Nebraska.
Yeah, I mean, 23 years with one team is such a tremendous accomplishment. You know, he knows his gymnasts. I'm sure he tailors to their individual needs, and it's showing off.
Iowa will start on beam. Their average as a team this season, 48.388, seventh best in the conference. They're going to need a much better performance today if they're going to make sure that they can maintain their lead over Nebraska heading into the final rotation. Savannah Borman will be first to go. And I guess when everything is clicking like it did on bars, that momentum hopefully does carry over for the beam.
Yeah, it's important. They probably have so much energy coming off of bars. That beam, you want to focus in a little bit more. So they got to bring that, use the excitement, but maybe, you know, channel it into the beam.
As a team, Iowa's highest score this year, 49. They've been at their season best the first two rotations, both on vault and on bars. For Borman, it's their first year competing for the Hawkeyes after competing the first two seasons at Arizona State for the Sun Devils.
A beautiful triple series there. Doing 2 back handsprings and 2 a back layout. Judges are looking for that nice 180 split. They can take off if it's not at that 180 mark. For the dismount, cartwheel gainer full, one little step, but it was a hip beam routine for Iowa. A great way to start out. You want to put the first person up who you know you can count on that's going to hit to set the pace for the rest of the team, and she did that. A little bit of form on that series. The judges want to see those tight legs, so a little bit of bend. Those are those little tenths that you want to make sure, you know, you hold on to.
Danielle Breen will begin for Nebraska on floor. Last week she struggled against Michigan with a miss, just a 9-1 her score. But the week prior she posted a career high 9.85.
Floor is all about showing off and performance. You want to draw the judges and the crowd into your routine.
Was this your favorite event as a gymnast?
My favorite event was actually beam, but I did love competing floor because it was just so fun. You know, I love dancing, so I definitely loved competing floor, yes. Solid landing. Really important as you go through the floor routine. These girls, they need to keep their breathing under control because, you know, the dancing can really wear you out. Again, another beautiful landing. Great, solid start for Nebraska.
That's what the Huskers needed. A good start on the floor by Danielle Breen.
Take a look at second pass here, run it back handspring, into the double back, and no movement on that landing. That was great.
Back to beam. Borman with a 9.725, tying her season high. This is Ashley Edlin, who had a fall against Northern Illinois, then bounced back with 2 9.7s the last 2 weeks.
The judges love to see confidence up on that beam. That's what's going to separate some of these gymnasts, is how confident you look. And you don't want to move super quickly through the routine, but you do want to keep the pace and have that rhythm just flow from the time you mount the beam, from the time you land on the mat.
Oh, and another fall.
Looked like she landed a little bit crooked. She was doing a standing back layout.
And that's going to put a lot of pressure on the rest of the Hawkeyes.
Finishing up with the dismount, but she got that stuck landing. That was a good comeback. Yeah, now the pressure is going to be on because you get to drop one score. You know, that was their one mistake. So it's going to be up to the rest of the team to give it their all. Let's take a look at that nice dismount. 1.5 twist. Very nice landing.
A teaching moment indeed. Back to the floor. Megan Schweihofer, the freshman from China, Michigan, coming off her best performance on floor in her young Nebraska career. 9.875 last week against Michigan. And Dan Kendig loves what she brings to the table.
Got some very upbeat music. Starting off with that first pass. Double pike. Looks like she's tripping over the mat there. So that's not a deduction to use that mat to help prevent injuries, or if you had an injury, kind of softens that landing. Punch front layout into a front 1.5. Very fast-paced routine, but very fun. Coming into the last pass. Got a double tuck. Just slight movements on that landing, but not a lot of deduction there.
In Nebraska, they're 2 for 2 on floor. And they trail by 1/10 of a point. Check out the last pass.
So the last pass, you know, the gymnasts are really tired. They got to reserve that energy. Going into the double back. Maybe not as much height as she would have liked to get. Landed up just slightly short, but she covered up that landing very nice.
Jelani Sotilo. Now lots of pressure on Sotilo, Metcalf, Trent, and Glover. Iowa can't afford another mistake after Edlin. A 9-1. They're hoping that that is a score that they'll be able to drop. Sotilo's been off her career high twice this season. 9.850. A good start on her first pass.
That was a good start. Nice solid landing. You gotta hide those nerves if there are some. You know, you don't want the judges to see that. A little bit of a bobble there. You know, it's kind of like you have to be a good actor when you're up there on the beam. If you have those nerves, you can't show them. You gotta, you know, the judges perceive what you put out there. Very nice. Just coming up for the dismount. Punch front full. Stuck landing, kind of stepped out of it, but turned and saluted. So nice cover up there for the dismount. Nice side semi. Now that landing is a little bit harder, but I'm sure she's practiced it a lot. She makes it look effortless. And great dismount.
So 3 remain on beam for Iowa. And back to the floor, Sienna Krause, the freshman. She scored a 9.825 3 times this season.
First pass. Oh, it almost looked like she kind of hyperextended that knee as she landed. As a front handspring, front double full, very hard first pass. I love that they show off their dance moves a lot. Something I like about Nebraska and their floor.
Half of this rotation for Nebraska are freshmen. So it goes without saying the future is bright.
Oh, so a little short on that front handspring. I almost wonder if she hurt that knee on that first pass. It kind of affected the rest of the routine. Let's take a look here. So as she landed, it's really important you bend those knees and kind of the knee, the ankle, not quite sure which one it was. Front handspring, didn't quite stand up out of that front handspring and couldn't get the power she needed to get that twist around. So yeah, it looks like she might have maybe injured something.
I'm gonna go check out Sienna Krause. All-rounders in the competition. Molly Drent leads the competition 19-7 halfway home, but Angel Metcalf right there in the picture. She's fourth to go, and this is a big event for her. She's fallen on beam 3 times this season, including last week against Maryland, and she's got to be perfect.
Yeah, that can put a lot of pressure on the gymnast. If in your head you've known you've fallen before at meets, you know, that kind of adds a little bit more, and plus she's already had one fall in front of her. So it's going to be crucial that she trusts in her training right now. She's done this routine so many times. In a way, you got to turn your mind off and let your body do what it knows how to do. Going into this series, again, another triple series. Only a slight wobble. Dismount, beautiful dismount.
Oh, that was
wow.
Big for the Hawkeyes. Metcalf, who struggled on beam, comes through, and now Iowa just needs 2 more hit routines.
Let's take a look at that series. 2 back handsprings into the back layout. That back knee was just slightly bent. I would like to see it a little bit tighter in the dismount, but she finds that landing. That is fighting. They're still trying not to give away any tenths. Every little thing counts.
And so the story for both these teams in rotation number 3 is the same. There is no margin for error now for Nebraska after Krause's 9-1. Jenny Lang now, who's performing on floor for only the 3rd time this season.
Beautiful double pike, kind of sliding backwards on that. When you have so much momentum, it's important you kind of have to stop that momentum. It can be hard to do. I love it. She is definitely putting on a show for the judges and crowd and her team right now. That's what you're looking for. Great, high, energetic routine right there from Jenny. That was very good.
We said it was all about the dancing as well. You got to entertain the judges.
Oh, absolutely. It's a lot about the dancing. I mean, you got to get those landings in good form, but other than that, you know, it's all about the dancing. You got to show off for those judges. They want to see that. You got to entertain them. The more fun they have, then maybe the higher your score is.
Jenny Lang, indeed, she did show off. 2 remain for Nebraska, 2 remain for Iowa. Is Molly Drenth. She's hit on being 5 consecutive routines, including a 9-9 and a 9-8, 5-0. Iowa needs a hit by Drenth and a hit by Glover to be able to drop the score by Ashley Edlin, who fell earlier here in the 3rd rotation.
That was a beautiful mount that she just did there. Very hard series. That was wonderful. Back handspring, back layout, back layout. Again, you want to keep the rhythm moving on the beam as soon as you mount. Your goal is to get off that beam. And another stuck landing. Wow.
Oh.
They just have these landings down today.
It's been a day of sticks for the Hawkeyes. Here's another look at that spectacular mount.
Beautiful. Showing her flexibility there and strength. Take a look at this series. She goes back handspring, into a back layout, right into another back layout. Much harder than the back handspring, back layout. She'll get some bonus points there. And the dismount. It's perfectly stuck. You know, only some slight form throughout the routine, but she made up for it on that stuck landing.
2 remain for Nebraska on floor. It'll be a freshman going in the place of Holly Blansky, who's been their top gymnast on floor. A 9.950. She can watch and only wait and hope that the freshman Kaylin Earl can come through with a big performance. A lot of pressure now on the freshman because Nebraska needs 2 hit routines to be able to drop the score by Sienna Kraus. Molly Drenth with a 9.925, a career high performance.
Awesome.
So the Hawkeyes are picking up the pressure.
They sure are. First pass here. Beautiful double pike.
This is the 3rd time ever that Earl has competed on floor as a collegiate. But she says that this is her favorite event.
I can see why. She looks like she's having so much fun out there. And for only competing 3 times on this event, she looks like she's been doing it forever. A little bit of a short landing there. She's very sharp in all her dance moves. Coming into the last pass here, it's going to be important that she's breathing, has enough energy, and she does. Beautiful last pass. Awesome routine. That was a very energetic routine. She definitely had me drawn in. Take a look, round up back handspring into the double pike. Great form in the air. Here's her double tuck. She landed a little bit short here. She's got to keep that rotation, get those shoulders up a little bit higher. They stopped, and that caused her to hop forward. So that could be a good 2 to 3 tenths maybe just on that landing.
Last to go for Iowa, Allie Glover. Again, a lot of pressure on her. She needs a hit routine so that Iowa can drop the 9-1.
Lots of pressure, but The routine right before her was amazing, so hopefully that took some of the pressure off. She can, you know, just go out there and do what she does in practice.
Molly Brent with a career best 9.925. This is Glover's best event. She was 9th at the Auburn Regional last year on beam. And she's had a 9.8 or better her last 2 meets on beam.
Well, they could definitely use that 9.8 or better right now. Beautiful punch front tuck. You don't see that too often. That's a hard skill. Got that blind landing coming around on the beam. Slight wobble. She wants to stay focused. She's coming into her dismount. She's almost done. It's important you don't let up until your feet hit that mat.
The Hawkeyes survive. They'll drop the 9-1, and they're about to get another big team beam score overall.
That was a great routine. Let's look at that punch front. So landed a little bit low, but not a lot of movement. See, I think she could tell it's slightly low. She's like, oh, that was a close one, but she got it. And the dismount, nice landing. What a comeback.
We'll wait the totals. Grace Williams will be last to go for Nebraska. She's coming off a career high in the all-around 39.5 at Michigan, and she needs a stuck routine as well, so they can drop the 9-1 on their side.
Yeah, they could definitely use a high score right now. Beautiful. That was a huge double pike. She got so much height. Again, she's trying to draw those judges into her routine. You want to show off as much as you can. Very nice leap pass. That was cool. So many little interesting dance moves in here. The judges have got to be loving that. Double tuck into another perfect landing. That was a great routine to finish off on. Take a look at the first pass here. Got a rounded back handspring. Huge height, a little bit of leg separation in the air. The judges can take for that. Take a look at that last pass. Got the double tuck. Again, a little bit of form in the air. Those are those little tents. You know, you want to have those pointed toes. You want to have those legs together because all those tents count.
Lainey Snyder is going to go as an exhibition on beam, but the one thing we do know is that Iowa has a huge score on beam of 49.150. It's a season high for them, and they came through in the clutch after that fall in the second spot by Edlin. They were able to drop the 9-1. And Grace Williams is going to finish with a 9.925 on floor. Nebraska's highest score.
It's a very nice score for Nebraska. We got the exhibition beam routine going here. You see she fell off earlier there, but she's getting out there to get some experience. The score does not count. Going into that dismount, but still another stuck landing. They are really getting those landings today. That was something that Coach Libby had said during warm-ups, that they were all week in training, they were really focusing on those landings. And they are definitely getting them.
Well, the Hawkeyes looking for a win over Nebraska for the first time since 1981. They have the lead, headed to the fourth and final rotation. Iowa will finish on floor, Nebraska on beam when we come back on BTN. It's the Hawkeyes with just over a 1/10 of a point lead as we get set for rotation number 4. Dan Kendig, head coach of Nebraska, joining us. And Coach, you told me at the beginning, this one had an opportunity to really be a battle. How do you assess your team's performance so far today?
Well, we're definitely in a battle. I think our team's done a good job. Obviously, we've left some tents on the floor today, but the bottom line is we're going to a strong event for us, and I'm confident in what they're able to do on beam. So it's still, this meet's far from over.
You know, you had that one little mistake on floor. What do you tell your team to keep the positive energy up?
I think they've done it. You know, we came back from that. We had some good routines after that, and, you know, we're planning on some good routines here on beam. But the bottom line is we just got to stay in the moment and do what we're doing and trust the process.
Coach, you have an update on Sienna Cross and the injury?
She's fine.
Thank you. All right, best of luck as we get set for rotation number 4. Just over a 1/10 the difference. The Hawkeyes looking for their first win since 1981.
Wow. It is so close. It is going to come down to those little tiny things. It just...
Take a look at the results for Nebraska on floor. Grace Williams, the only 9.9 or better, a 9.925, as they finish as a team with a 49.125.
You know, still a great score. Even though they were able to drop that one score, but 49, that's good. That's great.
And for Iowa, they survive. Edlin with a 9.1. Metcalf comes through after a fall last week with a career best 9.875. As the Hawkeyes put together their second season best performance. And Molly Drenth, she's got another opportunity for a Big Ten all-around title. She leads it over Grace Williams, but just fractionally as we head to this 4th and final rotation.
Yeah, she's fighting for that #1 spot. Very nice scores from Iowa on beam. You know, that's the challenge. When you have a fall on beam, you know, you feel that pressure, but they all handled it very, very well.
Iowa came in and said that they really wanted to show at the end of the day that this Hawkeye gymnastics team is one of a team that really can compete among the nation's best, and they're certainly showcasing that today.
They are showcasing that today. They are focusing on the details and being clean, and they're showing it in their routines. They are looking great.
As we get set for rotation number 4, want to remind you that you can always hear from BTN personalities, get programming information, and so much more. Follow the Big Ten Network on Twitter today at the Big Ten Network. Former Big Ten gymnast of the year, Shreya Mussa, Bernie Gunther with you as we begin rotation number 4. Madison McConkey, the senior, will begin. This has to be a meet that you really enjoyed as a student athlete when it goes down to the wire and all the pressure is on in that last rotation.
Oh, yes. I personally loved working under pressure. I don't know. It's just some gymnasts love the pressure. Oh, so she grabbed the beam there. Didn't quite fall off. That was a good save. That's going to be 3/10 for touching the beam.
Nebraska's posted a big score as the team of 49.350. That's their season high on this apparatus. Their 3rd best, their average in the Big Ten this year, trailing Michigan.
Wants to finish up this routine with as little mistakes to make up for that one mistake on the series. Let's see if she can get this stuck landing. Got to round off 1.5 with a little bit of a hop and a step into the salute. Let's look at this save. So back handspring. She was crooked there, almost didn't get her foot on the beam. She was able to, it stuttered, was able to get it on, but then did not have enough rotation to get around. And there's the dismount, a little bit of leg separation. Wasn't able to find that landing, but that was a great fight. You know, she didn't fall off, so they can come back from that.
Savannah Borman, the junior transfer, is first to go for the Hawkeyes on floor. The Hawkeyes 5th best in the conference so far. They scored a 49-2.
Beautiful double pike.
These are two teams of this final rotation that can't afford to give away any tenths.
They cannot afford to give away any tenths. It is going to be so tight here. Oh, so she hopped out of bounds there. I think both feet went out, so that's 2 tenths for both feet going out of bounds. Plus, you know, whatever the reason why she went out of bounds, they'll take on that as well. Coming into the last pass. 1.5 punch front layout. Good landing on that one.
Well, it looks like there's going to be
disappointed.
some work to be done for both Nebraska and Iowa here in the 4th and final rotation.
Let's take a look at that first pass. Beautiful double pike. Want to point those toes when they're in the air. But nice landing. Here's when she goes out of bounds, so has so much power and just lands with her feet a little bit too far in front of her, and that just shot her backwards.
Well, Madison McConkey, she scored just a 9-2, so it wasn't a great start for Nebraska either. Galen Orrell, she's tied for 21st in the country in the all-around after her all-around debut last week, a 39.250. Looking for another big performance. She's a Missouri State champion on beam back in high school. This is one of her favorite events.
I'm sure she has been in this situation before, working under pressure. You do train for this. Beautiful series. Only a slight wobble. Good cover up though, trying to dance out of it. Something I did as a gymnast on the beam was I would count through my dance and then say keywords before I went into my skills. I'd always have something like a mind routine going on. So I couldn't think about any negatives. You only want to think about positives when you're up on that beam and what you want to make happen.
The good news for Nebraska, they have 2 of the top 4 gymnasts in the Big Ten on beam in this lineup. So they certainly have the star power.
Dismount a little bit crooked. She didn't quite get that round off up over the top and twist it off to the side. So the judges will take a couple of tenths on that dismount. One for the landing. Let's take a look here. Little crooked, her feet were off to the side and then landed to the right of the beam. But it was a stuck beam routine.
In Nebraska, they need a stick. They came in trailing by over a tenth. This is Lainey Snyder, second for Iowa. Borman a 9.550. So obviously it goes without saying the Hawkeyes would like much higher scores.
Yeah.
The final 5 gymnasts, they'd like to drop that score by Borman. And another step out of bounds.
So that one's 1/10. Only 1 foot went out. Sometimes when the floor exercise is your last event, you have so much excitement and so much power. It's really important to take that adrenaline, and you kind of have to take it down a notch sometimes. You're so pumped up.
What's the strategy for coaches as far as setting the lineup 1 to 6?
You know, you want to build scores, so you want to start out with the person who you know is going to hit, is going to be consistent, and then you try and build from there. Double pike. Little bit of form in the air, but it was a nice landing. Looks like she's happy with that routine.
We should improve the score from Borman.
Let's take a look at this last pass. So watch the form in the air, a little bit of toes, flexed, leg separation. Those are the little tenths that you don't want to give away. Here's the first pass. So she slid back and then stepped out. It almost looked like she didn't know she was out. Sometimes you can tell where you're at on the floor and you try to keep that toe in.
This is a big routine for Nebraska. Danielle Bream, 25th in the country, 4th in the Big Ten, coming off posting a career-high 9.9 last week against Michigan.
They could definitely use that 9.9 right now. Let's see if she can repeat that.
Lainey Snyder with a 9.775.
One arm back handspring into her back layout. That one arm makes it more difficult. This beam's only 4 inches wide, so it's important to keep that center of gravity right in the middle of the beam. There's not a lot of room for error. Little wobble there. That was a sheep jump. That's extra hard because you throw your head back, you take your eyes off the beam, and then you gotta spot the beam again really quick as you land. Important to show confidence when you're up on that beam. Coming in for the dismount. Beautiful 1.5, not quite the stuck landing that they would have wanted, but it was a clean routine. Let's take a look at that sheep jump. So split jump, head throws back, looked like she was a little crooked, but she was able to save it and pull it back into the center.
So 3 remain for Nebraska on beam. Up 3rd on the floor for Iowa is Melissa Zawadzki. It's with a 9.8 on bars. Sophomore from Darien, Illinois. As a freshman, she saw action in all 12 meets on bars. Here in her sophomore season, she's expanded her repertoire. She's now a member of the floor routine for the Hawkeyes.
Now that was a round-off double pike. I don't believe she did a back handspring, which she's not going to get any deductions for that. You don't have to have the back handspring in there.
And Zawadzki might be the important routine for the Hawkeyes because Metcalf, Drenthe, and Glover are all very, very good for Iowa, so they finish really strong.
Yeah, you definitely want to build those scores. So far, looks like a great routine, high energy. Again, you're showing off for the judges. You're putting on a show. You don't want those judges to be bored when they're watching you.
Danielle Bream's score coming in for Nebraska, 9.8. So the Huskers, they're building their score on beam. They came into this 4th rotation trailing by just over a 10.
Last pass, beautiful landing. I liked that finish. That was very nice. Very fun routine. Here's the first pass. She does a round off right into that double pike. Again, you don't need the back handspring. Here's the last pass, looking for that nice form. She had very good form on that twist. Her knees were straight. That was good.
Three remain for Nebraska. The first of the 3, the freshman Megan Schweidhofer. She's of her own mold. You take a look at her career history. She says that beam is her favorite event, and she's a freshman. She scored a 9.825 twice this season. You got to love that.
Yeah, not a lot of athletes would say that beam is their favorite event. It was my favorite event, though. I did like the beam a lot. When you're up on that beam, you kind of have to put yourself in a little bubble. I don't know if you can hear in the background, there's a lot of yelling and screaming, but when I was up on the beam, I didn't hear any of that. It was like it was completely silent.
It had to be particularly difficult to be on the beam, especially on the road.
Yeah. I mean, the beam is the beam, but there are some times where, you don't like the feel of one beam that you're not used to training on, but those are all the little things you got to overcome, and trust your training, trust your body, because you've done the skills so many times. Coming in for the dismount. Round off double full. Right into the stuck landing. That was beautiful. Absolutely no movement on that dismount. Let's take a look at her series. Looking for nice height and good form. No wobbles there. And here's the dismount. She's got the double full, which is hard. A little bit of her legs were crossed in the air, but she stuck that landing. Definitely made up for it.
The freshman Schweinhofer comes through. No room for air for Nebraska, no room for air for Iowa. And it's going to be Angel Metcalf trailing in the all-around. Kaylin Orrell, she's finished now with a 39.025. But Metcalf, Drent, they all have an opportunity to be all-around winners for Iowa, who's looking to defeat Nebraska for the first time in 17 years. Metcalf very consistent today.
Yeah, so far, great scores. Again, you want to make sure if you have a lot of adrenaline, you channel it. They can't afford any more out of bounds.
Metcalf was fourth on floor last year at the Big Ten Championship, scoring her career high 9.9.
Beautiful first pass. Again, no back handspring there.
She's been 9.8 or better on floor 3 times this season, including the last 2 weeks.
We'll definitely be looking for that 9.8 or higher score today. One and a half punch front layout. So far, she's just solid. She's not giving anything away.
She's hoping to help these Hawkeyes to a program-defining victory over Nebraska.
Coming into the last pass. Round off double pike. Another good landing. Awesome routine. That was definitely a routine to build on from the last one.
It is indeed building for Iowa on floor. They have 2 remaining, Molly Drent and Allie Glover, and Metcalf. A solid performance here.
Here's the last pass. Good form in the air. She landed with her shoulders slightly low to the ground. You want to get that chest up a little bit more.
Last to go, Holly Blansky, the senior. Blansky and Grace Williams, the final 2 competitors for Nebraska.
Back handspring, back layout. A little bit of bent knees on each of those back handsprings.
Dan Kendall mentioned that it might be interesting to see how she performs on beam, taking the floor off, because obviously as competitors, sometimes it's key to keep that focus high the entire time.
Yeah, sometimes when you don't compete in an event, you feel like you can let down a little bit, and then you gotta bring it back up for the last event.
Been a challenging week for Holly Blansky. Her mother, Michelle, undergoing surgery for breast cancer this week. A successful surgery, and obviously hopes and prayers with her mother. And now she's coming through in a big way on the beam today for Nebraska.
Finishes it off with a beautiful landing. Beautiful. Let's take a look at that flight series to see a little bit of bent knees. The judges are probably going to take on that. You know, that could be a half a tenth on each of those back handsprings for the bent knees. But a beautiful dismount, double full. Only a real slight, I think that left foot moved just slightly, but the judges could have missed that.
Here is Molly Drenth in the all-around picture. Preseason Big Ten gymnast to watch. Back-to-back week, she's had career best performances in the all-around. Could she do it again here?
Double pike. Got that first landing.
It's a 9.725 to take the all-around lead from Angel Metcalf.
I think she might do that right here. As long as she can get this last pass. Round off 1.5 punch front layout. Beautiful. Right into her dance. Very, very nice routine.
Spectacular. Molly Drenth, she keeps getting better in her junior season.
Here's the last pass. Round off 1.5 punch right into that front layout. Beautiful.
Drenth is going to be one to watch at the Big Ten Championships at Nebraska in just over a month. Last to go for Nebraska, Grace Williams. And the Huskers have certainly saved the best for last. She's 5th in the nation on beam. She averages 9.9.
They're definitely going to be looking for that 9.9 right now. Beautiful series. She's in the 6th lineup spot for beam. So that must mean that she's very consistent on this event. Her team, I'm sure, trusts her to do her job.
She needs a 9.925 to win the all-around. After that performance by Molly Drenth, it's a big number.
It is a big number, but anything can happen. She needs that a little bit of slight step back with that right foot, not quite the stick she wanted. Again, it comes down to those little tenths. Take a look at her series. Good form, very hard series. That was very difficult. She performed it well. Side aerial into a back full. It's another unique dismount that is challenging. She handles it very well.
Last to go for Iowa, Allie Glover, who was 4th on floor at the Big Ten Championships last year, coming off a 9.9 against Ohio State a couple weeks ago. And the Hawkeyes have an opportunity to beat Nebraska for the first time in 17 years if Glover can come through with a big score here.
Huge double pike. She kind of shifted her weight on that back foot. Wanted to stay a little bit more forward. I'm sure she's feeling a little bit of pressure, but this is the time when you need to trust your training. You don't want to focus on the outcome. It's important to focus on one step of what you're doing and not thinking about the end. One step at a time.
And it appears that they could drop more and score. The Hawkeyes will be victorious. I'll say they'll do it.
I think so. Beautiful routine.
It's going to be a Hawkeye first in 17 years as Glover comes through.
Take a look at that last pass here. She nails it. Boom, and the team just goes crazy. Beautiful routine. She's very happy with that, as I would be as well.
2 exhibitions will wrap things up. Ashley Lambert and Aaliyah Edlund.
Good series. A little bit of a form break in her knees, but only minor. She really wants to show her coaches right now that she can be in lineup. She's got to prove to them. They want to see a nice, clean routine. Again, confidence is key. Good save. Almost a little, she landed a little bit forward. Into the dismount. Beautiful landing. That was a gainer full off the side of the beam. So only a few little wobbles. I would say that was a good exhibition routine.
Ashley Edlund will go as an exhibition for Iowa. Glover 9.875, the final score posted by the Hawkeyes. And again, for Edlund, just trying to show Coach Rosa Libby why she should be involved. This is a team for Iowa. They got a lot of options. Over 20 competitors on the team. And for the first time for Alyssa Libby, she said that it's really been a battle to see who gets in to be those 6 competitors each week in the 4 rotations.
Yeah, that's a lot of girls on one team. You know, there's only 6 spots, so you got to really fight in practice, you know, for those lineups. You want to show the coaches every single day that they can trust you to be put in lineups, and it's not just about the competition, it's about training as well. You can see she's got some chalk on her legs there. Sometimes, you know, in your double back or double pike, when your hands are a little sweaty, it could slip off your legs. So it just makes it a little bit more grippy. Landing, shoulders a little low on that, but it was a good way to end. Great routine.
What a day for Iowa. For the first time in 17 years, the Hawkeyes take down Nebraska. It's their 2nd win over a top 25 opponent. They finished with a season high 196-650. We'll talk to the winners when we come back. The Hawkeyes, a huge performance at home today. It is a great day indeed to be an Iowa Hawkeye. Their first win over Nebraska in 17 years. A season high today, 196-650 as they take down their second top 25 team on the season. Now they are one of two teams in the Big Ten that is undefeated so far in conference action. As we take a look at our Coyote Logistics No Excuses Impact Gymnast. And there is no excuse. Molly Drenth, she's got another all-around victory on the season.
Such an awesome day for Molly Drenth. She just came out onto the floor and gave it her all.
Spectacular performance. Another all-around victory today. And a big reason why Iowa victorious today. And Molly, first of all, congratulations. What does it feel to finally get over the hump and defeat Nebraska today?
You know, it's just incredible. Our team, it all came together today. We came with a mission, not a goal. So we hit our mission. Now we're just going to keep going up from there.
What do you want to take away from this meet personally? This is your fifth all-around win. What do you want to take from this meet and carry into the rest of the meets with you?
You know, just the same thing, really to focus on all the details, which we did much better today. Had all 6 hits on bars, so just definitely that, the details.
Head coach Larissa Levy told us at the very beginning that the key for Iowa is you guys really want to make sure that the national scene knows that you guys are a force to be reckoned with. Did you guys show that today?
Oh, we sure did. It felt so good, too.
Congratulations on a spectacular performance today, Molly.
Thank you so much.
We'll wrap things up from Iowa City. When we come back, they are celebrating a win today. The Hawkeyes with a season-high performance at home. The Hawkeyes put it all together at home. A win over 14th-ranked Nebraska. A season-high 196-650. And they sealed the deal in the 4th and final rotation. Nebraska, they were able to drop the score by McConkey, the 9.2. And Schurhofer, the freshman, had the highest score, a 9.850. But how about the performance by Iowa on floor as they solidified the win? Angel Metcalf, 9.9, a career best today.
Such great scores there. I mean, that's just got to be a wonderful feeling to come out on the floor and just do what you train, because that's all you really can do.
And Molly Drenth, yet another all-around win in the Big Ten. She has won every Big Ten meet that she has competed in this season, 39-475.
Yeah, let's see if she can keep it up into the rest of the meets. You know, it's going to be important that she gets back into the gym and does not train any differently. Just stays nice and confident, just like she's been doing.
And this is the point now with Big Ten's just a little over a month away in Nebraska on March 19th that you want to be peaking. You want to be starting to perform at your best. And man, did Iowa really make a statement today.
They sure did. I mean, wow. They just came out and let it all out on the floor. They were fantastic.
That'll wrap things up from Iowa City. Once again, it's the Hawkeyes.